I went to get a pimple checked out and somehow I ended up booking an appointment with my ex-boyfriend. Honestly, getting a zit looked at shouldn't be an issue. People get zits. They get them on their chins, their foreheads, sometimes even that weird spot behind the ear. But this damn thing wasn't on my face. It was growing, down there. Right on the delicate terrain of my bikini line. It was angry, red, and throbbed every time I wore jeans. WebMD had convinced me it was either a harmless ingrown hair or the bubonic plague returning for a sequel. So, I did the responsible thing. I booked an appointment at the nearest clinic that took my crappy insurance. I didn't look at the doctor's name. I just saw, available, 2 p.m., and clicked. Who the hell knew Ethan Carter would suddenly end up becoming a gynecologist? When I walked into exam room 3, clutching my paper gown like a lifeline, the air left the room. There he was. Sitting on a swivel stool, reading a chart. He looked up. His eyes, dark and sharp as obsidian, widened for a fraction of a second before settling into a look of professional boredom. But I saw it. I saw the recognition. "Chloe," he said. His voice was deeper than I remembered, smoother. It vibrated through my bones. "Ethan?" I squeaked. "I mean, Dr. Carter?" I didn't have time to overthink it. Ethan had already snapped on a pair of disposable latex gloves. Snap. The sound echoed like a gunshot. His voice was cold enough to freeze hell over. "What's the problem?" I couldn't help but steal a glance at him. He was wearing scrubs that fit him unfairly well, emphasizing broad shoulders that I used to, nope, not going there. And a mask covered the lower half of his face, which should have made him look like a generic medical professional. Instead, it just drew attention to his eyes. How the hell does he look even hotter with a mask on? I shrank my shoulders, too terrified to look again. My throat felt as dry as sandpaper. I have a bump, down there." Ethan seemed completely unfazed, like he saw coochies for breakfast. He probably did. That was his job now. "Pants off. Get on the table. Lie back. I have crippling social anxiety. On a good day, ordering coffee makes me sweat." This was not a good day. I didn't have the guts to pull a "I want a female doctor" tantrum or run out and re-register. I was terrified he'd call me a narcissist or think I still cared. So, I stiffly climbed onto the exam table, the crinkly paper rustling loudly under my butt, and spread my legs. He walked over with a flashlight, his eyes devoid of any emotion. Just clinical detachment. "Symptoms?" "Itches," I whispered. "Hurts when I walk." I gripped the bed sheet, my knuckles turning white, barely able to breathe. He leaned in. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying for a sinkhole to open up and swallow the entire building. Just then, a voice came from the hallway. Loud. Booming. "Dr. Carter, you in there? We need a sign-off on the biopsy." I panicked. It was an irrational, primal panic. I felt like I was being caught cheating, even though I was single-ish and this was a medical exam. My legs slammed shut instinctively. My thighs instantly clamped around Ethan's head like a vice. Clatter. The flashlight hit the floor. MMPH. Ethan made a muffled noise of surprise against my inner thigh. Swish. The curtain was ripped open. The nurse who walked in saw the scene, me, on the table, legs locked around the doctor's head. The doctor, trapped. Her eyes almost popped out of her skull. She dropped her clipboard. Oh. Sorry. My bad. The nurse turned and sprinted away faster than Usain Bolt. The room was dead silent. I lay there, frozen like a corpse, realizing I had just sexually assaulted my ex-boyfriend. Again. Ethan pried my legs apart with strong, annoyed hands. He stood up, adjusting his mask, looking like he was suppressing the urge to murder me. His hair was slightly messed up. "Chloe," he said, his voice dangerously low. "You are still absolutely fucking unbelievable." I was stiff, harder than a 300-year-old zombie. But inside my brain was screaming, "Just cremate me now. I want a factory reset on my life." The air was silent for a long time. I thought Ethan was going to slap me, or yell, or call security. But he didn't. Acting like nothing had happened, he bent down, picked up his flashlight, sanitized it, sat back in his chair, and started typing on the computer. I went limp, pulling my pants up to cover my shame with trembling hands. "I'm sorry," I whispered, my voice weak. I was just too nervous. I panicked. Ethan had his back to me. He didn't turn around. "Don't apologize," he said flatly. "I've done some bad shit in my life. Running into you is just my karma." Ouch. "Me?" he asked, still typing. "Traveled anywhere recently? Took a long train ride? Stayed in a cheap hotel?" "No," I said. "Had sex with your boyfriend recently?" "Me?" I blinked. Ethan swiveled in his chair to look at me, his gaze heavy with pressure. "I need the truth or I can't make a diagnosis." My face burned red. "No. Not recently." Then I heard Ethan let out a scoff. A laugh. It was short, sharp, and mean. "It's nothing serious," he said, handing me a prescription slip. "Just folliculitis. An ingrown hair that got infected. Take these antibiotics and apply warm compresses. It'll drain on its own. Don't sit for too long," he added. I squeezed out a smile. It was definitely uglier than crying. "It's not that kind of disease, right? Like an STD?" Ethan looked at me ruthlessly. "You haven't even been laid. Can't get it." I felt like he was stabbing me with his words, but I had no proof. He was right. Brad and I hadn't slept together in months. I grabbed the prescription and fled. Chapter 2, The History of Violence. Ethan and I have a toxic history. It's the kind of history you drink to forget. Junior year of college. I was a scholarship kid, working 2 jobs, always tired, always broke. My friends, in a rare moment of cruelty disguised as fun, dared me to confess to the campus playboy, Brad. I'd had a crush on Brad for ages. He was the nice, popular guy. Or so I thought. So, on a dark, moonless night, I cornered Brad near the cafeteria. I saw a silhouette leaning against the vending machine. I rushed up, grabbed his collar, and kissed the living daylights out of him. I put my soul into that kiss. When I let go, panting, the lights flickered on. I realized I had kissed the wrong guy. I had sucked face with Brad's roommate, Ethan. Ethan was the campus king. Pale, handsome, rich, and notoriously taken. He wiped his mouth, looking at me with a mix of shock and disgust. Because of my assault, his girlfriend, who saw the whole thing from the window, broke up with him. Ethan cornered me after class the next day. I thought he was going to beat me up. Instead, he slammed his hand against the wall next to my head. "You owe me a girlfriend," he growled. "You have to fill the vacancy." I was indignant, clenching my fists. It wasn't just my fault. It was dark. "And, you used your tongue too." He glared at me. "Fine. If you don't agree, go convince my ex to get back together with me." I was scared shitless. His ex-girlfriend was Sarah, the godsister of some local gangster with tattoos of dragons on one arm and tigers on the other. Her fist was bigger than my head. So, pretending to endure the humiliation, I agreed. We started a fake relationship that turned real. A love-hate mess. He was arrogant, demanding, and spoiled. But he was also protective. He walked me home from my late shifts. He bought me food when I was not hungry, broke. But come on, who wouldn't fall for a guy that hot? I gradually fell deep. On graduation day, Ethan said he wanted me to meet his mother. I dressed up in my best thrift store dress, wanting to make a good impression. His mom was beautiful. Elegant. Terrifying. She smiled and said, "I hear my son talk about you often. He says you pay for everything with scholarships and part-time jobs. I really like a girl who can endure hardship." Then she accidentally dropped a photo on the coffee table. I picked it up. It was a girl who looked like a supermodel, standing next to Ethan at a gala. They looked like royalty. "That's Vanessa," his mom said sweetly. "She's studying law at Yale. Doesn't she match Ethan perfectly?" I stuttered, "Yes." She didn't need to say more. I knew what it meant. Class difference. Money. Bloodlines. I initiated the breakup with Ethan that night. I told him I never loved him, that I just wanted to experience dating a rich guy. I broke his heart so he wouldn't have to choose between me and his family. After graduation, we went our separate ways. I heard he went to med school. I went into marketing. Then, 6 months ago, I ran into a pervert on the subway. Brad, the guy I originally liked, saved me. He got a rib broken in the process. Just like Ethan, he demanded I be his girlfriend as repayment. It seemed like the universe had a twisted sense of humor. I agreed. But the hero saving the beauty thing didn't really work for me emotionally. Brad was fine. But he was cheap. He borrowed $3,000 from me 3 months ago for car repairs and still hasn't paid it back. I really wanted that money back. Chapter 3, The Roommate from Hell. I squatted on the curb outside the pharmacy, sighing deeply. What kind of sin did I commit in a past life? Going to the doctor for a butt pimple and getting my ex? If I had no shame, I'd carve that story on my tombstone. I shook my head to clear it and texted Brad. "Are you free after work? Come look at apartments with me." My lease was up, and the landlord wasn't renewing because he wanted to turn the place into an Airbnb. If I didn't find a place tonight, I'd be on the streets. Brad replied instantly. "I have to work overtime tonight. Can you go alone?" I was annoyed. Why do I always have to go alone? What if I meet a bad guy? Ping. Another message. I want to save more money so I can support you in the future. Love you, babe. I remembered the last time Brad and I ate a $3 hot dog and he asked me to Venmo him $1.50. I silently deleted the text and went to find a place myself. I didn't have much money. The best option was a shared apartment I found on Craigslist. The ad said, looking for quiet roommate. 2B/2B. Cheap rent. Must be clean. I contacted the tenant and went over. I knocked on the door of apartment 402. The door opened. Ethan stood there. He was wearing gray sweatpants and a t-shirt, holding a protein shake. We stared at each other. The app hid personal info. I really didn't expect it to be him. It was awkward as hell. You? He said. Sorry, wrong door, I laughed dryly. I turned to leave. At that moment, I heard laughing coming from the stairwell. I looked down the hall. The elevator doors opened. I saw my boyfriend, Brad. I was about to smile and wave, to show off Brad in front of Ethan to regain some dignity, when I noticed the woman wrapped around his arm. My smile died. She was gorgeous. Blonde, tall, expensive looking. Brad was whispering in her ear, his hand sliding down her back to squeeze her butt. I comforted myself. Maybe it's a client. Maybe he's a personal trainer now. Then I saw him kiss her. Full tongue. Well, my heart turned to ash. But I couldn't process the cheating right then. The urgent issue was avoiding them. If they saw me here, it would be a confrontation I wasn't ready for. Just as they reached the landing, I turned around and jammed my hand against the closing door of apartment 402. Ethan wasn't prepared. He didn't expect me to have the strength of an ox when panicked. I shoved him back. I clasped my hands together in prayer. Hide me, I whispered frantically. Just for a minute. Please. I dove into the apartment and scrambled for the bathroom. The apartment was small. I could hear everything outside. I heard a knock on the door. Ethan opened it. Hey, man. It was Brad's voice. This is my buddy. Ethan just moved here. Call him bro? Wait. Brad knew Ethan? They were still friends? Then a sickeningly sweet female voice. Hi, bro. I grabbed my hair, sliding down the bathroom wall. Kill me. You're late, Ethan's voice was deep and magnetic. Just came from a hotel, Brad laughed. Had to, warm up. The woman giggled. You guys chat. I need to fix my makeup. I heard footsteps coming toward the bathroom. I sucked in a cold breath, my body tensing up. I looked around. No window. No vent large enough to crawl through. The handle jiggled. Locked. Occupied. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. The next second, I heard Ethan say, loudly, there's a dead rat in the bathroom. I stepped on it and haven't cleaned it up yet. Silence. The woman immediately backed off. EW. You? I hate rats. I let out a slow breath. Good job, Dr. Carter. But then Brad said, a dead rat? Scaring my baby? I'll go throw it out. I'm not afraid of rats. I gasped again. Ethan. Brad called out. Where's the trash bag? I'll get it, Ethan said quickly. You go wash your hands in the kitchen. The food is here. I didn't dare breathe. Footsteps approached. Click. The bathroom lock turned from the outside. Ethan slipped in and closed the door behind him. I sat on the toilet lid like a malfunctioning robot, face purple, staring at Ethan. Ethan turned on the faucet. The rushing water covered his voice. 1 minute is up, he whispered, leaning down. His face was inches from mine. Get out. I could feel his mockery and amusement, but I couldn't leave. I still had some dignity left. I stretched my neck and begged, "Can I leave after they go? Please? He's cheating on me. I can't face them." Ethan looked at me. His expression shifted from annoyance to something unreadable. Cheating? Yes. That's my boyfriend out there. The one I haven't had sex with recently. Ethan was ruthless. Not my problem. Get out. Then call the cops. I hissed. I'm not moving. Unexpectedly, he shouted. Brad. My soul left my body. I lunged forward, grabbed his arms, stood on my tiptoes, and clamped my hand over his mouth. Ethan looked down at me, expressionless. His eyes danced with a dark light. I looked up, eyes pleading. Spare my dog life. Brad appeared at the door. What's up? Did you catch the rat? I was pressed tight against Ethan, practically hugging him to keep my hand over his mouth. Ethan smirked against my palm. He grabbed my wrist and pulled it down, but kept his body shielding me from the door crack. Nothing, Ethan called out. Just a bit, constipated. The rat is huge. Brad cursed from the hallway and laughed. Gross, man. Hurry up with the food. Footsteps walked away. My legs gave out. I slid down Ethan's chest until I was kneeling on the floor. I whispered, I can't break up with Brad yet. He owes me $3,000. If I confront him now, I'll never see that money. The air froze. I felt a murderous aura from Ethan. 3,000? Ethan scoffed. You sold yourself cheap. Chapter 4, The Fake Rat. I stayed in the bathroom for an hour. Ethan brought me a sandwich and a bottle of water, sliding them through the crack like I was a prisoner. Eventually, Brad and the girl left. I emerged, stiff and humiliated. Thanks, I mumbled. Ethan was sitting on the couch, watching TV. Rent is $800. Utilities split. I blinked. What? You're looking for an apartment, right? That's why you were here. Yes. But what? You'd rather live on the street? He didn't look at me. I need a roommate. You need a place. And you already know about the rat, so you won't complain. I stared at him. Living with my ex? The ex I dumped? The ex who was now my gynecologist? Why? I asked. He finally looked at me. Because I want to see how you get your $3,000 back. It sounds entertaining. So, I moved in. Chapter 5, The Revenge Plan. Living with Ethan was confusing. He was cold. He made me pay for my share of the groceries down to the cent. He brought women home, or at least, he pretended to. I'd hear giggling, but then the girl would leave 10 minutes later with a textbook. Study partners? But he also did things. He fixed my laptop. He bought my favorite cereal. When I had cramps, I found a hot water bottle outside my door. Meanwhile, I plotted my revenge on Brad. I needed to get my money back before I dumped him. Ethan became my reluctant accomplice. You need leverage, Ethan said one night over pizza. Does he have anything valuable? His car, I said. But it's a lease. His reputation? He's a gym teacher. I don't think he has one. Ethan sighed. Just steal his phone. What? Steal his phone. Transfer the money to yourself. Then dump him. That's illegal. So is fraud, Ethan countered. He borrowed money under false pretenses. A week later, I had a date with Brad. He came to pick me up. I managed to swipe his phone while he was in the bathroom. I knew his passcode, it was 123,456. Idiot. I opened Venmo. I transferred $3,000 to my account. Then, I saw his texts. Messages to baby girl, the blonde. Messages to Jessica, someone else. Messages to his mom calling me a cash cow. I felt sick. I put the phone back. When Brad came back, he smiled. Ready to go, babe? I was thinking we could go Dutch tonight. I'm a little short. I smiled back. Actually, Brad, I'm breaking up with you. He froze. What? Why? Because you're cheating on me. And you're cheap. You're crazy, he shouted. I never. Check your Venmo, I said sweetly. I took my refund. Consider it a severance package. I walked out of the restaurant. I felt light. Free. I called Ethan. I did it. Good, he said. Come home. I made pasta. Chapter 6, The Diagnosis. A few weeks later, my stomach started hurting. Bad. I ignored it for days, thinking it was stress. But one night, I collapsed in the kitchen. Ethan found me. He didn't panic. He scooped me up, carried me to his car, and drove 90 miles per hour to the hospital. I woke up in a hospital bed. Ethan was sitting in the chair next to me, looking pale. What happened? I croaked. Appendicitis, he said. It burst. You went septic. You almost died. I tried to sit up. Pain shot through my side. Don't move, he commanded. He poured me water. Ethan, I whispered. Thank you. He looked at me. The coldness was gone. In its place was something raw. Fear. You scared me, Chloe, he said softly. You really scared me. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. He took my hand. Why did you break up with me? Back in college? I looked at our joined hands. Your mom. She showed me a picture of the girl you were supposed to marry. Vanessa. She made me feel like dirt. Like I was holding you back. Ethan closed his eyes. Vanessa is my cousin. What? She's my cousin. My mom lied to you. My jaw dropped. She lied? She hated that you were poor, Ethan said bitterly. She wanted me to marry a senator's daughter. So she manipulated you. I started to cry. All those years. I thought I was doing the noble thing. I thought you didn't love me, Ethan said, his voice cracking. I thought you used me. I loved you, I sobbed. I loved you so much. He leaned forward and kissed me. It wasn't like the first kiss in the dark. It was gentle. It tasted like tears and antiseptic. Chapter 7, The Happy Ending. 6 months later. I walked into the clinic. Dr. Carter will see you now, the nurse said, winking. I walked into exam room 3. Ethan was there. He smiled when he saw me. What seems to be the problem today? He asked, snapping on gloves just to mess with me. My heart, I said dramatically. It's racing. He took off the gloves and pulled me into a hug. "I can fix that," he whispered. "We're married now." Brad is still paying off his credit card debt. And Ethan's mom? She eventually came around when she realized I was the only one who could handle her son's sarcasm. And the pimple? It was just an ingrown hair. But it was the best damn pimple of my life.